well as a side, and we fully believe that we can actually do something good this year. Not many people think that when you look at Blackburn, because you've got your Man Cities, your Liverpools, your United, you've got all them in competition with you. But we believe that we can push.
Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in to Brightside Agency's Academy Life with George Chmiel. Before we start, make sure you subscribe to our channel and follow in our social media pages to make sure you never miss content like this in the future.
Hello, welcome to the interview today with George, Academy start at Blackburn Rovers. First of all, George, I'd like to ask, how did you first get involved with Blackburn?
So I was just playing as a child, really, on parks and that with my dad and my mates when I was about 5 and 6, just mates from school. And then my dad took me to Denton Youth. And then from there, I played there when I was 5. And at the age of 5, that was when I got scouted for Blackburn and a few other clubs as well.
Leads on to the next round. Did you face any challenges at the start when you did get scouted by Blackburn, or was it quite plain sailing?
I think when you're that young, you just think of it as like, oh, it's a professional football club, and you enjoy it at that age. You don't really think about the pressures as such because you're just a young boy who loves playing football. So I went there just wanting to enjoy myself, and I didn't realise how far and how serious it was at the time, if I'm being honest with you.
Do you find any struggles now then with it? Anything that's like with having college on the side and everything else, do you find that it's you have a lot on your plate, or do you manage to keep it to timescales very well?
I think that as you get older, from probably your GCSE years in high school, from that point on, it starts getting more serious and more hard for your brain to get along with, because you've got a lot of focuses outside when you are playing football.
Yeah.
Do you find the commitment a struggle at all? Because obviously it's a lot, I'm sure. Like how often are you training a week?
I train 5 days a week, and then we have a game on a Saturday.
Right. So do you find that a struggle with obviously at a young age as well? You've got your friends that are out doing things, or do you find that you're doing a hobby? Do you enjoy it more than anything?
It's a bit of both, really, because you know what you're doing hopefully will be worth it, but at the same time, you do see your mates going out, and on a Friday night, you'll get asked, "Oh, do you want to come here? Do you want to come there?" But you can't because you're up here. Like I live away from home, and I have done since the age of 11. So that part of it is a big commitment to make, but to be like what I want to do, you've got to make sacrifices in life, and you can't live the normal life of what your average teenage boy does. Yeah. So you've got to adapt to that and obviously see where it takes you.
What have your experiences been like with Academy Life, and have these experiences transformed your play style at all?
Yeah, I think that being in an academy, you pick up the tactical side of football as such. Because say when I watch my little brother, who's only a couple of years younger, I remember myself at that age, and the difference in just understanding the game and game understanding is massive. Because they're just, when I watch him play, he just looks like a load of lads who just want to play for enjoyment and enjoying football. But when you watch an academy game at that age, it's much more structural and there's more things you've got to look out for, and they teach from a young age the tactical side.
Do you find that watching your brother, you can give him tips and help him out with his game then?
Yeah, I think my brother, when he first started playing football, which was only about 4 years ago, you could tell he had natural ability, but he just didn't know how to use it. So I always go through my games with him and watch my games back, and I show him because he plays central midfield, I show him what our centre midfielders do. So they don't always just get the ball and go long and go long and go long. They keep the ball until there's an opening to go forward. So I think the more he does watch and the more he listens to me, he is improving. And I can see that in his game myself when I go and watch him on a Sunday.
Do you feel there's like a certain experience that you've enjoyed the most whilst being at an academy or a level like that?
Yeah. So a big experience for me, and it sounds daft, it's not just one experience in total. It's the whole 5 years of living away from home all through my high school years. Because I thought at the time when I got told about it, I was a bit 50-50, like, do I want to leave my mum and dad? Will this be worth it? Like living an hour away from home from the age of 11, joining year 7, secondary school, it's a big sacrifice to make. But now I've left school and I'm looking back and that's the best experience I'll probably ever have, because I learned how to be independent and learned how to do things on my own from a very young age. And I think that if I didn't move away from home, I don't know where I would be, because you never know what could distract you when you're at home.
Yeah.
So I'd class that as a very good experience for me.
Is there any relationship at all between the academy and the first team? At some clubs, they like to mix the two together. So you get the odd day in a week. It won't be every day, but you get the odd day in a week where you'll get told, all right, today, lads, you're with the first team. And I think that's a good experience in itself, because you're in the first team environment of football and you see what their training is like, and you can compare it, and you can compare their standard to your standard and see whereabouts you think you're at and as such.
Right. So obviously you represented Poland. What was that experience like, and was there any challenges that went ahead with that?
Yeah, it was a great experience, don't get me wrong. Obviously, I've got Polish heritage in my family, but the biggest challenge of all was the language barrier, because I don't speak Polish myself. When I went over there, I was just an English boy who had Polish background. That's what they would have seen me as. So when I was there, it was hard to communicate with the team. It was hard to get to know everyone. But the more and more I've been, the more I'm developing a kind of relationship with the team, and they're like bonding towards me. They're trying to learn English and I'm learning bits of Polish. So it works like that. So in both ways. So it's not just me trying to make an effort for them. They're also trying for me, and I think that's good for the squad overall.
So would you say you fitted into a group well there, considering the language barrier and everything? Has it been in a sense?
Yeah, I'd say when I first went over my first ever camp, it was like me pushed to a side as such. But when they see me on the pitch and they see like what I could like add to the team, I think then they started to realise like, oh, we can't single him out. We can't just leave him as the English boy. We need to welcome him into the team. And ever since then, they've been nothing but nice to me and accepted that. It's just because my family don't speak Polish to me. That's the only thing that separates me from being Polish.
So how was coaching like with it? Obviously, I'm assuming you'll be speaking in Polish. So was it, obviously, is it helpful? So with football, obviously, you can teach from anything. So did you have to learn a bit of Polish for it to go forward, or is it just how it was?
No, it was literally my dad got an email saying I've been called up, and then within 10 days, I think it was, I flew out there on my own. And when I got there, I didn't know anyone, didn't know any Polish, and I just had these instructions on an email. And then I met them, and the coaches could barely speak English, so they just tried communicating as best they could, and then from there we just took it forward.
So back with Blackburn now, currently achieving well at under 18s level. How would you say your season's gone so far on a personal level?
I'd say on a personal level, it's been tough in a way, because we have a lot of players in the squad. So it's all about like managing minutes and who can play and when they can play, injuries and all that. But I think at this point of the season, the full squad's needed. So we're playing well. We're top of the league. I don't know if you've seen. I think we're 7 points clear now. We won last night in the FA Youth Cup 5-1 against Birmingham, and we're doing really well as a side, and we fully believe that we can actually do something good this year. And not many people think that when they look at Blackburn, because you've got your Man Cities, your Liverpools, your Uniteds, you've got all them in competition with you. But we believe that we can push further than them.
So with obviously the under-18 at the moment, did you all kind of come into the team around the same point, or have there been additions along the way?
No, so when I joined under sixes, there's only 3 lads left from that. There was about 24 players, and then a lot of the other players have come in over the years, across them 10 years. Some joined last year, some joined 4 years ago. It just all depends, really.
You see the likes of Dolan this year and Harvey Elliott getting their chance last year with the first team. Does that give you a confidence boost in breaking through and having a chance with them as well?
Yeah, obviously, because it shows that the academy trusts youngsters. They're not just a team who are gonna think about experience as such. They're gonna put trust in younger players, and in England, there's a big thing about academies being so good. So I think personally that every club should be the same. They should put more trust in the youth, because if players are showing it in the under-23 league and the under-18s league, then what is the reason for them not to get the opportunity, other than people being bought from other countries, if you get me?
Yeah, definitely. So, is there something that you'd say motivates you to reach your full potential and get into the first team?
I'd say my family, really, because they've put so much into what I do that my dream is to play for Blackburn first team sooner rather than later, and then take my career on from there. And if I did do that, it'd just mean the world to my family because of everything they've been through. I mean, especially my mum leaving her son when I was 11, and then living away for 5 years, and now I'm living away again now for at least another 2 years. So it's a big thing, and not many people manage with it, but we have. So I think if I did, that is my motivation, my family.
Are there any goals that you set yourself for the next few seasons, or do you like to take things in your stride and as they come, take them? Or...
I like to set things in my stride, but I have set myself like goals for the year, as in like how many goals I score and how many assists I score. Right. But I keep them to myself because I don't want to put unneeded pressure on me, because if I do that and then I don't reach that target, it's not a bad thing. It's just something that you'd look to do the season after. But I like to keep it personal to me, so I know myself how I'm doing. But if I share that information, then I don't reach them goals, you never know what could come out, and you never know, do you?
Right. Yeah, I understand.
And then finally, is there any advice you would give to young players who aim to make it pro in football, or even looking into getting involved into football themselves?
I'd just say keep working hard, and no matter where you're at, you never know when that opportunity might come. And every game of football that you play, every training session is an opportunity to impress who you are as a player. So never have any regrets after a training session or after a game. Don't have any regrets. Make sure you work hard through it all, and then you can go off the pitch and relax and wait for the next time, and keep taking each opportunity as it comes in front of you.
Thanks for watching our interview today, and thanks to George Chmiel for joining us. If you enjoyed this content, make sure you check out our social media channels down in the description below so you never miss content like this in the future.